Did you have Merry Christmas, dear?
Yeah, that's pretty good, I guess. Maybe, I don't know, it hasn't happened yet.
Well, this is coming out after Christmas, so pretend you did have Merry Christmas.
Woohoo! It's been so great, I got everything I wanted.
What did Santa bring you, dear?
A dog, and another dog, and a dog.
Oh my god, that's so cool!
Wow!
Thank you, Santa.
Thank you, Santa.
Thank you for not putting us in potato sacks and replacing us with wooden effigies instead in our beds.
Straw.
Hay? That did not look like hay.
It's like straw grass. Yeah, it was.
Okay. Whatever.
Hey, we watched Rare Exports, by the way.
Yeah, we did.
And don't sound so fucking down. It was great.
It was. I'm trying to, not lead expectations here, dear.
Uh-huh. Well, fine, Gamb. Please inform me what happened in Rare Exports. Please inform me.
No.
No? Okay, well, that's a podcast I'm never talking to again. Bye.
Anyway, so we cut to 24 days until Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
We cut to a man at a desk with a cane, talking to what looks to be a supervisor of a mine, and the man with the hard hat, he goes, "Listen, other man, sample number 76 is odd. There's something wrong with it." And he's like, "Look at it. It's sawdust. Oh no, sawdust. We drilled into sawdust." The other man's like, listen. Back in the olden days, they used to, put sawdust around ice to keep it cool, to stop it melting, which I believe is actually a real thing.
Yeah.
Because it would keep stop it from getting moist.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, that means we found something. Keep drilling, boys. He's like, what's in there? It's like, well, listen, this mountain is a giant icebox for storing something special. And the miner's like, what is it then? And he's like, keep drilling and you'll find out. And he's like, well, we have been drilling. We've been drilling this entire time. And they go outside to take a look, and we cut to two kids with guns, just hanging out behind some boxes, watching this.
As you do.
As you do. And the man with the cane goes gives a speech of hey men, we've done it, just keep digging and we'll get our prize. We're on a giant burial mound right here, we're gonna grave rob it, make sure you get me what I want. And then he's like, here's these rules that you need to follow, make sure everyone follows them, don't break the rules. And it's the rules are things like no smoking, no swearing, no
wash behind
shouting,
your ears.
Wash behind your ears. Very important rules. And then he's like, okay, we found it. We're gonna blow it up with dynamite. And the kids are like, they're gonna blow it up. We gotta go. So the kids go down the mountain, and then they go back through a hole in the gate that they cut. And they're back on a snowmobile, and they're like, okay, we gotta get out of here. They're doing something fucking weird up there, and then boom goes the dynamite, and the blew a hole in the mountain. Oh shit! And we cut to the kid, the smallest of the kid. There's two kids. There's small kid and mullet head kid. They have real names. I'm not gonna try and pronounce them.
That's fair.
So we have mullet kid and small kid. Got it? Good. Small kid, we cut to him in a montage reading about the history of Santa Claus, because he's like, they killed Santa Claus. Do you think Santa Claus is buried up there? So he's reading up on Santa Claus and the actual mythology of Santa Claus, being ooh, he's gonna steal kids and smack them with, well, to be fair, it's not just smack them, it's smack them with razor wire, essentially. Because they've been naughty, and the effigies and steal kids. And it's whoa, this is cool montage that typically is not until later but it's like, it's cool it's in the beginning. Like, this kid's already interested in it, so it's nice to have a character. I like it. So then we cut to 1 day to Christmas now. We've cut 23 days ahead. And we go, wow, the kid's grown up, because now he's got a beard, he's an old man, and he's, like, putting sticks in the ground and, like, putting trees on a hole, so he's making a pitfall trap to lure in some wolves. And he's put pig head on top of it to lure the wolves in. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's not actually the kid, it was just a funny joke, dear. That was actually the kid's dad. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. The kid wakes up, alarmed, and opens his advent calendar, but tapes the final door shut, so Santa can't get him. Because if you open the final door, Santa can get you, because Santa's behind the final door.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. So this kid seems like legitimately afraid of Santa Claus now that he's like looked up the mythology and like realized that things are different. Dad goes into the shed and he's like, "Kid, don't come in here." And the kid's like, "But I've got to talk to you, Dad." And the dad's like, No. I'm working. I'm busy in here. And the kid's like, "Fine, I just won't open my eyes then." He goes inside and, okay,
No.
Well, he goes inside and the dad goes...
doesn't want to go in because he knows what his dad is doing. And he's like, "No, if you're going to talk to me, come in here. But keep your eyes closed because it's also disgusting and you're a child and I don't want you to see this."
I guess, whatever.
Okay.
The dad's a butcher. He's cutting up a pig, slicing him up and sectioning him off, getting you some nice back cuts, getting maybe a little bit of pork belly. Mm-hmm. Yum yum. Merry Christmas. They have a conversation about the kid's terrified of Santa, and the dad's like, "Shut up, stop being terrified, nothing's gonna happen." And it's like, we gotta go anyway, fuck it. We cut to them leaving, because they've got to go somewhere, and they're off to a what looks to be a corral fence. We cut to some new characters and mullet head kid again, and a character's like, "Stand away from the fence," and then he flicks a switch and ooh, it's electrified now, dear. Ooh. Even though the electric part of the fence doesn't really come up at all. Whatever. And the father gives the kid a gun. It's like, okay, here's a gun. I don't remember, why does he give the kid a gun again?
So they're basically herding and hunting reindeer for their income of the year, and that's why that's why it's electrified, because it's basically what they're herding them into, and they don't want them to try to escape because reindeer can be ornery as fuck. So
okay, well that makes sense then, because it's like, I guess, like, why would you give your kid a gun, though, to hunt? Like, don't trust a kid with a gun.
Because in most other countries that, like, are pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, harsh, I guess. Every single person has to be part of it, and you don't really get a choice.
I guess my thing is, like, the kid, when he handed him the gun, it kind of gave me the impression that, like, this was the first time the kid ever held a gun. Like,
okay.
My sort of thought on it was like, I understand that completely, but for me it's like, if you're gonna
I believe he had a gun when we first saw him.
I guess he did, but I guess it's like the dad giving the kid the gun with the intent that the kid would actually use it this time. Like, it kind of made me feel like the kid was like, oh, I'm actually gonna use this now. Sort of like, I don't know. Just a weird feeling. Maybe it was just the kids acting, because in some parts of it, it's a little bit weird. The kid, they open up the fence and everyone goes in to like check it out because the reindeer are coming. The reindeer are coming. 2 reindeer come up over the hill and they're skinny little fuckers. And it's like, oh, that's all the reindeer we've got. Oh,
maybe the others are late.
Maybe the others are late. And then the dad's like, no, something's up. And he's like, that fucking mountain, I tell you, boy. So he's like, alright, let's get out of here and then we'll go check it out. And they open up the gate and the kid tries to help opening up, but he gets pushed aside and lands on the ground. It's like, kid can't do anything right. It's a bit stilted in the way it happens. It's like, why would this is a bit weird. The dad just fucking pushes his child over like that. But, I mean, I kind of get it. I just feel like they could have done it a little bit of a better way. So we follow where the reindeer were supposedly coming from, and oh shit, we're at the gate from earlier where the hole is, and there's a shit ton of dead reindeer.
Oh no.
Shit ton of dead reindeer.
Oh no.
I can't remember how many, but it was in like 300s.
It was like 400
like 300
something.
corpses. Yeah, it looked like maybe 20 to 50 corpses, but like they were like, there is like 300 to 400 corpses here, and it's like, yeah, you can't see them, but they're definitely here.
Well, there was like multiple shots where there were just like hundreds of bodies, so.
I guess. It didn't look like hundreds to me, but whatever. The dads find the hole, and they're like, ah, shit, wolves must have gotten through here from the mountain, and I must have killed all of them. And they're like, what kind of wolf does this? And then Mullet Boy grabs the small kid and goes, if you tell them that we put that hole there, I'm gonna kill you. Because the dads are like, how much is this? Like, all these reindeer, how much? And one of them goes, it's $85,000 plus 22% VAT. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a lot of money.
Yes.
And so they're like, oh shit, we're bankrupt now.
It's just imagine your entire crop just gone. Like,
yeah.
Shit sucks.
And the small kid's kind of looking at some of the reindeer. He lifts up one of the corpses and he sees a footprint. And it's not a wolf footprint, dear.
Ooh. What is it?
It's got little jingle bells.
That's it? Because I just thought it was a footprint when I saw it.
No, it's just a normal footprint. But could you imagine if it had like a Santa hat logo or something?
Jesus.
The dad gets pissed and he's like, "That's it. Fuck it. We're going to confront the miners. This is their fault that we're bankrupt now. So we're going to demand money." So he shoots the gate open, and they're like, "Let's go." They drive up the mountain, and it's like, "Oh, this place seems abandoned." Like, they left, the miners left in a hurry for some reason. And at this point, it's like, oh shit, Santa's free, and all the miners are dead already. It's like, oh shit. They go outside and they turn on the lights and they find the giant hole that the miners were digging. It's a really big hole for only 23 days work with dynamite. Like, a really big hole. It's like, oh shit, the hole's so big, Santa must have been in there. Because he's a fat fuck.
Yes.
Like, oh shit, wonder what was in there. And then we cut back to the kid stapling the 24th door shut on his advent calendar, because now he's absolutely terrified of Santa. And then we get, like, the small kid tells the mullet kid the history of Santa, and, like, I forget what people it was, a tribe of people got angry at Santa for his practices of luring, of basically kidnapping kids and shit, and they lured him out onto a lake, a frozen lake, and he fell through the lake and froze, and that then became the mountain, and now we have a mountain.
It was it might be Samai, but it's Sammy, I believe is how they pronounced it.
Okay. Mullet-haired kid just laughs at him, goes, haha, dumb. And small kid's like, no, dude, you gotta take this shit seriously. And mullet-haired kid's like, yeah, no. I don't care if we've been naughty, don't you dare fucking tell anyone about any of this shit that we did. Like, if you tell anyone how would your dad react if, like, he found out that you're the reason that you guys have lost all this money now? It's like, yeah, he'd be kind of upset considering the way he's treated him so far. And then we cut to the father, who's making gingerbread men. He's making gingerbread men. And we get a little father-son bonding moment where they're eating gingerbread men, and the dad's trying desperately not to cry because he realizes his entire life is kind of ruined now, and he's not going to be able to provide for his child. It's depressing.
Yep.
It's great.
Yeah.
And he kind of gets angry at the child a little bit because the kid doesn't really get it. And he's still going on about everything. And he's like, am I good? And the dad's like, good children would be in bed right now. Go to bed. Just go to bed. So the kid sleeps. Then we cut to the miners. Turns out they weren't dead. They just were away for some reason.
So they were transporting things. It was never mentioned that they were dead. They were just gone very quickly. Because I believe they say that they escaped while working, so they were all just fucking booking it. And, like, no, like, it's not ready for transport. Like, oh, Jesus, like, you don't understand.
But they didn't, though, because we cut back to the miners now, and now is when they're transporting stuff, and they're saying, like, hey, okay, like, that thing's not ready for transport. We've got to. So, like, it's a little bit janky with, like, I feel like there should have been like an extra scene in there just to show exactly what happened to the miners or where they were going. Because it's like, I don't know. Basically, we go back to the miners. They're not dead, and then one of the miners is being called by the rich dude with the cane from the beginning, and he's like, "Is my prize ready?" And the miner's like, "No, it's not fucking ready." And he's like, "Oh shit, he's breaking the rules," and the ground shakes. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't care what's fucking in that fucking thing. It's fucking dangerous. Like, do you even know what that is? And then he looks around and all his miner buddies are gone. Ooh. Their hats are still there, but they're gone. And it's like, oh, he broke the rules. He's dead.
Yep,
he's dead. And that's the end of the movie. Anyway, it's now Christmas. The dad's sort of like walking around, cleaning stuff up and getting ready to start a fire. And oh shit, the fireplace has exploded. Oh shit, there's something in there. Kid runs downstairs and is like, oh, what's in there? He gets the gun, points it at the fireplace, and the dad pulls out the log that he threw in there with a bear trap around it.
Yep.
And he yells at the kid. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Because the kid didn't tell his dad that there was a bear trap in the fucking fireplace.
Yep. That he was sticking his face into.
Yeah, the dad stuck his face into it. Like, he would have fucking died. So the kid goes outside, because he needs to pee anyway. He's like, well, I need to pee. Goes outside and he notices, oh, hey, the bait's gone from your trap, Dad. Mm. And the father's like, oh, okay, let's go see what's in it. You stay here. And the kid doesn't listen. And he walks up and he's like, you stay here. And the kid doesn't listen. And he's like, kid, stay here. He's like,
I want to know what's in the hole.
I want to know what's in the hole. But no, you're not allowed to. The dad looks in and it looks to be a hand with some feathers.
Mm-hmm.
He backs away, goes with the kid inside, and is like, oh shit, we're in trouble. Like, we gotta, this is not good. I gotta call this other dude, one of the other men from earlier with a beard. He's gonna help me out. And he comes up in full Santa gear. He's like, I'm making my rounds in the morning, like saying Merry Christmas to everyone. I'll help you out. What's going on? And they pull something from the hole and take it to the butcher's shed. The kid watches from the window because he goes back inside because the dad got fucking sick of him following him. And then we cut to the two dads, and they're kind of looking at this human that was in the trap. They're like, shit, what do we do? One of the dads pulls a wallet from the jacket that the man seems to be wearing, and it says it has a passport in it that says he's some American man. It looks like he's one of the miners from it. Yep. And so he's like, oh shit, we've killed a man. Like, what are we gonna do? And he's like, I don't know what we're gonna do. Like, this, we can't go to police because like the traps that I used was illegal. Like, I'm gonna get in real big trouble for this.
Yeah.
And so the other dad's like, well, we gotta get rid of the body then.
I don't even think he's a dad. He's just a guy.
I'm calling him a dad because he acts like a dad.
All right.
So it's like, oh shit, they're gonna cut up the man and then eat him because they've got no money, and then we're gonna get Wendigos. It's gonna be until dawn again. It's gonna be cool. The kid goes outside and goes into the trap and finds a sack with what seems to be a straw effigy of some kind. Kind of looks like a child. Cut back to the dads again, and they're about to cut the man's arm, but suddenly the arm moves. They go, wait, he's alive still? Like, why didn't you check that?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the first thing you do. And he's like, they're like, what's going on? He seems to be sniffing for something. And then Santa's eyes open, and he looks towards the window where the kid is. The kid ducks, but it's too late. The dads have seen him, and they go out to chase him. And Jesus Christ.
Oh, Jesus Christ. If only there was something that the child could do, and if only there was some way for him to run away very quickly, away from his dad who's now chasing him. Oh man, have you ever just been chased by your dad, like, violently? Like, shit's going down, and like, you're in so much trouble that you just don't really know what to do anymore, and it's just really difficult to get away, and you're just scared because as soon as he catches you, like, you're dead. Like, you're absolutely dead. Like, there's nothing you can do.
Initially I was just going to edit that out, but I'm not now because you just kept fucking ad-libbing, and I think it was dumb and funny, so I'm not editing that out at all now, because you just kept going. I was just like, don't pause, just whatever you do, don't stop recording. I was like, implying that I'll edit it out later, but you were just like, whatever, the Santa, and then he'll eat you, and then like, you gotta be careful, because like, Santa's gonna grab you, and he knows when you're sleeping, and he knows when you're awake, and he knows if you've been
keep talking about the goddamn movie.
Sick. Anyway, the boy runs off, and the dad goes to chase him. And the dad gets in the car and drives off, and he's like, oh, there's the kid. Ah, shit, he's gotten in a cop car. Grrr. And they go to Mullet Head Kid's dad's house, and he's like, oh, listen, I called you here, police officer, for a very good reason. It's my potato harvest. And the cop's like, oh, have they stolen that? Because all reports of everyone saying the Hoiper people have their radiators stolen, ripped out of the walls. And he's like, no, it's my potato harvest. The cop's like, what, did they steal your potatoes? He's like, no, they stole just the sacks. It's like, oh.
It's a really nice shot, actually.
It is a really nice shot, where they open the shed and there's just a shit ton of potatoes laying on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And the Mullet Head Kid's dad is like, they also stole my wife's hairdryer. They're like, what the fuck? Like, don't fucking, what's the matter with that? Like, it's just a fucking hairdryer. He's like, listen, it's fucking high tech in Russia at the moment. Like, come on, it's a good hairdryer. Like, some good stuff. We get the small kid's like, oh no, something's going on. So he's like, where's Mullet Head Kid? And the dad's like, oh, he's upstairs, probably still sleeping. The kid goes upstairs to wake him up and be like, hey, something's going on. But he finds a straw effigy in his bed instead. Ooh. And it's like, oh shit, wait. That Santa that fell in the trap was gonna steal the main kid that we've been following this whole time. But he fell in the trap, so we couldn't steal him. Oh, shit.
Nice.
Oh, shit. So we cut back to the bearded man, who is definitely, like, it's just Santa. We know it's Santa now. He's got the sack, he's got the beard, like, it's Santa. So it's like, oh, shit. Okay. He's totally, like... He's totally Santa. He's awake. He's alive. Okay, I got it. He's gonna wake up. He's gonna kill everyone, and he's gonna be like, "I'm Santa Claus. I want your soul." But what actually happens is we cut back to him with the bearded dad, and the bearded dad's like eating some of the gingerbread man, and Santa's sniffing. He's like, and then Peterman's like, what? You want some of this? What's that, boy? You want some gingerbread man? Even taunting him with it, being like, you want gingerbread? Nope, it's for me. Gingerbread? No, it's for me. And then Santa seems to be whispering something. He's like, and Peterman's like, what? And he's like leaning closer, trying to get in. He's like, and he's like, what? What's he trying to say? And Santa bit his fucking ear off. Anyway, we cut back to the two fathers and small child going back to the butcher's shed, where now the other bearded man is coming out with his clutching his head because his ear is bleeding. And mullet-haired kid's dad is like, why do you need me to translate some English? Like, because I know I speak English. Like, what have you done? What do you need translating, buddy? And he's like, we got one of the miners here visiting. He's just visiting. He's not dead. He's fine. And then, so he's like, okay, cool, whatever. They go to check on him, and Santa's like kneeling in the end of the hall of the room, just kneeling there, looking real decrepit. They're like, look at him. He's nothing. We cut back to the small kid who's calling all the houses to check up on all the children, and he's realizing they've all been stolen.
Gasp.
Cut back to Santa and the men. The Santa's not responding to anything they say or do. They're poking him and he's just not responding. Nothing happens. And then suddenly, small child knocks on the door and asks for dad. And then suddenly Santa's ears perk up and goes, ooh, small child. He's like, ooh. The small child enters the room and Santa stands up and looks directly at him. And the small child's dad is like, oh, so you respond to him. In that case, small child, come with me. You're getting closer to this guy. He's definitely safe to get close to.
Yes.
It's like, oh, shit, we're in trouble. Also, well, actually, there's no point in bringing it up, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. The kid, I mean, there is kind of a point. The kid is trying to tell his dad, he's like, listen, Dad, like, I've been naughty. You've got to smack me, because the kid understands the rules of Christmas and Santa Claus. He's like, you gotta smack me. I've been naughty. You gotta correct this wrong. And the dad's like, no, fucking what? No, I'm not gonna. Shut up. We've got to deal with this dead man who's not dead apparently. And they're like, okay, well that's it. We're tying him up. He's too dangerous to be walking around. Like he seems to only react to the child, which is not good. So they tie him up from the ceiling. So he's, like, swinging around, and it's kind of funny. I do like it. And this entire time he's got, like, this just neutral face staring at the child. And all the dads and the kid are just sitting there, passing the plate of gingerbread man along, just like, what the fuck are we gonna do? Like, what do we do now? And then suddenly, the radio from Santa's jacket goes off. And it seems to be the investment man from earlier being like, blah, 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 blah. What, do you have the goods? Blah, 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 blah. Are they ready to transport? Blah, 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 blah. And the dad's like, what do we do? And he's like, I know what we do. Tell him we've got Santa for sale. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Santa for sale. Santa for sale.
Come buy a Santa.
Santa for sale. So now they're in the car, and they're driving Santa up to this dude. They're like, okay, we got him in a cage. It's all good. How much are we gonna get? We're gonna get just enough to get. One of them wants to just get enough to pay off the debt. The other wants like $1 million. Because I mean, how much will people pay for like the real Santa Claus, like an authentic Santa Claus? We cut to a bridge. Mullet-haired kid's dad, as they're walking out, finds the hairdryer just sitting on the ground for some reason. Bit odd. And he's like, it's the hairdryer, and they're like, shut up, we got business to deal with. And the rich investment guy's like, you got the goods? Have you got Santa Claus? And they're like, yes, we are. No, wait. There's a lovely little bit of miscommunication in there, where he's like, where what's your business? Where are my men? And the dads just go, yes, let's do business. We are men. It's just like they don't fully understand him, and it's kind of great. So they're like, okay, here he is. You want to see the goods? Here's the goods. Here's Santa Claus. And the rich man's like, oh man, Santa Claus, I want to touch your beard. I want to touch your beard while I jerk off. And he's like leaning in. It's like,
okay.
What?
No, nothing. Don't worry.
No, that's exactly what happens in the movie. He literally says that. He's like, Santa Claus, I want to touch your beard while I jerk off. He actually says that. Yeah.
Okay, continue.
Are you gonna have to rewatch it to listen to it again?
Probably.
Okay. I'm just telling you, that's exactly what he says. Anyway, he's reaching his hands in as the kid has gotten out of the truck and walked away towards a warehouse shed with the giant number 24 on it, and he's like, the final door. It's like, okay, that's dumb. You have to admit it's dumb.
It's fine.
He's like, I'm gonna open it. I face Santa Claus so I can open this. He goes to open it, and Santa looks rich man in the eyes, and his eyes vibrate and glow for a second. And the rich man turns around and is like, okay, you need to listen to me, and you need to follow my lead. You need to smile, pretend that everything's fine, and walk very slowly. And they're like, what's going on? He's like, this isn't Santa Claus. They're like, what? He's like, yeah.
Well, they specifically go like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, triggering everything.
He's like, this is, they start swearing, which triggers everything, and he's like, this is just one of Santa's helpers. The real Santa is somewhere else.
Yes.
And they're like, whoa, what? And he's like, you gotta listen to me, we gotta get over there, we gotta get out of this, like, we'll be fine. The helicopter pilot, by the way, the rich man got hit by a helicopter. The helicopter pilot that the guy had, we cut back to him and he's been killed instantly by something.
He's been naughty.
Yeah, he's been naughty. And then we look around and we sort of see these weird, decrepit shadows. It's like, something's going on. And they're like, wait, where's the kid? Oh god, he's in that warehouse. Let's go to the warehouse. So they all start running the warehouse. But rich guy, he's like, we gotta be careful. We're like, watch out for Santa. And he gets hit in the back of the head with a pickaxe. He didn't swing it from side to side. It went up to down. Ooh. And he went down 6 feet down. Get it? Because he's dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, he's dead? Oh, well.
Actually, we cut back to him and he wasn't dead, but now he is.
Oh.
Anyway. All the dads join the kid in the warehouse, and the kid's looking at something, and oh god, what's he looking at? We cut to it. It's a giant ice block with goat devil horns sticking out of it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have found Santa Claus. Dun dun dun. And then we look down, and there's all the ovens and radiators and all the heating stuff.
That was originally stolen from everybody.
It was all the stolen stuff, and with a whole heap of potato sacks with all the missing children in them. Oh no, they were offerings for fucking Santa to smack when he gets out of the fucking ice block because the helpers are melting the ice block to free Santa. Oh no!
Oh no!
No! We're all gonna die, dear.
Don't let him out! Don't let him out!
The dads start freaking out, and Mullet-Head Kid's like, Dad is like, I gotta find Mullet-Head Kid. Where the fuck's Mullet-Head Kid? And the other two dads are like, shut all of this stuff off now. We can't let him be free. And the little kid's like, wait a minute. I've got an idea. And they're not listening to him, and he's like, he picks up his gun, shoots it, gets their attention. He's like, listen, as long as the kids are in here, so will the little helpers. They're gonna follow the kids. So it's either me or Santa Claus. And I choose Santa. And he reveals the boxes of dynamite. It's like... And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah. Obviously.
And I'm like, oh yeah, we got an idea. So, in the funniest scene in the entire movie, the bearded dad goes outside with a handful of gingerbread men. Mm-hmm. And he starts, like, sniffing the cookies and taking a little nibble and throwing them at the feet of all the little helpers. And little helpers drop their weapons and pick up the cookies and eat them because, gingerbread men.
That's a different podcast. Anyway, continue.
Imagine if it was just one, like, Bishonen fucking Santa's helper, though.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, continue. We're almost done.
So Bearded Man distracts them all so he can go to the helicopter. Because he's getting in the helicopter and he's like, I can totally fly this. And they take off. And I will add, something I really like about this is when he takes off, it's obviously a professional person flying it because it's a movie. Mm-hmm. But when they take off, they very clearly, like, sway from side to side as if, like, he's not ever really flown one of these before properly. So it's like, it's a little bit of, like, it's not just like, I can fly a helicopter. Yeah. I'm perfect at it. Like, he's very clearly an amateur. So it's like, cool, that's great. I like that little feature. And so we cut back to the dads, and they've got all of the kids in their sacks again in a giant net. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what are they doing here? And the kid's like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna blow it up, we're gonna lead them away. We're gonna get this, we're gonna fucking solve all of this. Mm-hmm. So, the helicopter takes off, the kid's holding onto the net. We get some... Okay... I'm being nice. Okay CGI.
Yeah.
Of the Santa's helpers following the net all the way down the mountain. And Bearded Dad's like, what are we gonna do? Where are we leading them to? And the kid's like, why don't you just treat them like they're reindeer and we'll round them up? And the Bearded Dad's like, ooh, just like reindeer. Yeah, let's do it then. Anyway, so they cut back and forth between the two dads drilling holes in the ice to put dynamite in, and the bearded dad and the kid flying around having just a whimsical little time. Whee! As they go through their adventure, and they go to the corralling fenced off area. They're like, okay, let's do this. And then the kid's like, wait a minute, the gate's still closed. They're not going to get in. And the bearded guy's like, well, we're going to have to think of something else then. And the kid's like, no, don't worry, I got this. The kid jumps off the net and lands on the cable and climbs his way down and opens the gate and turns on the electrified version of the fence and is like, tell my dad what I did and tell him I was brave in the end. He's like, I'm sacrificing myself for this.
Good job, kid.
I'm like, okay, something's gonna save him at the last second, and then we're gonna like, okay, cool, we're like, everything's good, and then Santa's gonna be released, and then we got the real big problem, and then we've got like, okay, then we've got like the final showdown. But what actually happens is the dynamite goes off, but before the dynamite goes off, the two dads are like, look at us, we've done a great job putting all this fucking dynamite in this ice block. We're gonna get ourselves a little prize. They get a chainsaw, and they tear off Santa's fucking horns.
Yep.
They put them in the back of the truck. They're gonna mount those on their fucking wall. They deserve that shit. As they're driving away, they blow up the dynamite. All the little helpers are running towards the kid, and then they just stop and get a little bit disoriented. Because Santa's gone. Oh. Santa's dead. Oh. What do they do? What?
I guess they have to file for unemployment.
Yeah, I guess they're going to file for unemployment. Huh? So it's like, oh no. Poor kid. But the kid's alive. Just poor little, Santa's helpers.
Yeah.
And they're there, and the dad comes down, and he's like, hey, "You're good. Like, we did it. Santa's dead." And the kid's like, "Yeah, we're good." And all the kids are still in sacks going,
Mm-hmm.
And basically all the Santa's little helpers are in the corral, and all the kids are outside now, and Mullet Head Kid's sitting there in his sack, like, scared still, and the little kid's like, "Hey, Mullet Head Kid, all these Santas, how much money do you think they're worth?" Which is a fun little callback to the beginning of the movie, and it's, like, cheesy, but then it gets really cute, because he's like, I don't know, and the dads, like, look at each other, and they start to play along. They're like, "Well, if we do the math in our heads, it's like 1.8 million or something like that." And the dad whispers it to the Mullet Head Kid, so the Mullet Head Kid can say it. He's like, "This much plus VAT." And it's like, okay, that's really cute. Like, the dad's playing along at the end. But, like, they actually now listen to and respect the small kid a little bit. Like,
yeah,
that's really cute. It's like, that's the end of the movie. And then we get the epilogue.
Mm-hmm.
Because the movie's called Rare Exports, dear.
Yep.
You thought the rare export was Santa.
Did I?
Well, you would assume, because it's rare exports and the rich man is trying to export Santa from
Russia.
This mountain. Yes. But the real rare export are the Santa's helpers, because now, in this epilogue, they're all being showered, hosed down, and cleaned up, and you get to see a lot of dicks.
Yep.
A lot of dicks.
So they're exporting dicks.
They're exporting dicks. They're a pornography studio now. So they're being hosed down, and then we cut to them being trained to be Santas. We cut to, like, all of them holding little dollies and a present, and, like, learning how to, like, talk to the kids and hand them a present, whilst the small kid and his dad are giving them an example of what to do, and while they're on a dolly being sent, like, from left to right to sort of show all of the Santas in a line, like, this is what you're meant to do, and all the Santas that pass the test get a little Santa hat on them. And it's like, okay, this is hilarious and weird, and I love it.
Yep.
And so then we cut to a Santa sitting inside a crate, and he's crated up, and it's like, okay, this Santa's going to Zanzibar. And it's like, all the dads are cool, like, cool, this one's ready to go, bearded dad, because you've now got a cargo plane. And they put him on the cargo plane, and that's the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm. They made all their money back. They made millions of dollars selling off Santas.
I love that so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool. Well, it's not cool. It's so cheesy. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the movie. It was a fun movie, I will say.
Yeah. So normally I try to find some sort of trivia, and there's really not much about this movie. There was one that I found specifically about this movie, and then the rest we were like, well, maybe we could talk about, like, Finnish Santa Claus. And I looked that up, and there's, like, one thing about Finnish Santa Claus that I could, like, talk about. I was like, okay, I guess not. The one interesting thing that's actually from the movie, though, is that when he looks into the passport of the Santa's helper, right, and it's the miner's passport.
Yep.
The reality is that the numbers in his passport actually read out the first, like, 10 digits or whatever of pi.
Oh, 3.1415925?
Sure.
379, I think. I don't know. I used to know it to, like, 20 digits.
That's fine.
Because I was that kid.
No, that's alright. There was a song I used to have on my MP3 that was singing the digits of pi, and, like, I memorized it for a while, and I don't remember it at this point.
I didn't have that, you fucking nerd.
So, Gamb, what did you think of the movie?
I like it. I liked it a lot. I don't know if I would, like, watch it again, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I enjoyed it, but I don't know if I would, like, make this, like, this is gonna be my, like, a Christmas like, I want to show this to other people. Like,
Yeah.
I think if someone was like, hey, what's a good Christmas horror film? I'd be like, this. This is a good one. Because, like, every other one is going to be terrible. But, like, if someone was like, hey, let's watch a Christmas film, like, something different on Christmas, I'd be like, I would have second thoughts about showing this. Because, like, I feel like, because it's 70 minutes, isn't it? Which is really low.
Hour and a half, yeah. Or like hour and 10 or something, yeah.
Yeah, 70 minutes, which is really low for a feature film. Like, you'd expect it to be at least 90 minutes. Which is why, like, I felt like, as we were watching it, I was like, the kid's about to, like, literally as they were going through, I was like, okay, the dynamite's just going to explode the ice and Santa's going to be free, and we're going to have to find an actual, like, a within rules way of killing quote unquote Santa, and that'll be the climax of the movie.
Because you were expecting it to be a three.
Well, I was expecting it to more just be like a standard narrative, like, which takes the form most of the time in a 3x structure, but like because the movie is only 70 minutes, it's like, oh no, we're just ending it here.
I
like,
believe
okay, I'm fine with that.
We agreed that
like,
it did follow a 2-act structure, at least.
Well, we didn't agree with it. Someone posted it and was like, I get it. It seems to follow this. It's like, I don't know if it actually does. It kind of does, but
it seems like it does to me. So
my thing is, like, I don't think they set out to be like, okay, we're actually going to structure this film like a 2-act play. Like, I don't think they did that.
No, I think they did it by accident in that regard, but I think that that's what they wound up with in the end.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree. I do feel like I kind of jokingly said, it's like, this movie has like a 20-minute Act 1, a 40-minute Act 2, and then like a 10-minute Act 3, or not even like a 5-minute Act 3. It's like really quick with what happens. So like, if it was 20 minutes longer, I feel we would have gotten like more of an actual climax, like, because you get the visual climax of the dynamite and the spectacle of the kid flying, but there's no narrative climax. Like, there's no real moment where, like, things are tense, it's a life and death situation, and the kid's like, you need to trust me, Dad, like, you need to, like, actually listen to me for once, and the dad's like, oh God, I've been wrong this entire time, I do need to listen to the kid. Like, that happens in a split second here, and we skip that conflict altogether, where it's like, I feel like there would still be some type of conflict between the dad being like, listen, I know it's this Santa Claus thing, like, at least give the dad some dialogue with, like, have the other dads be like, kid, you don't know what you're talking about, like, this is a life and death situation right here, and the small kid's dad finally having respect for him, going, no, you know what? He's been trying to warn me this entire time. Everything he said has come true. Like, maybe we should actually fucking listen to him for once. Like, don't talk to my kid like that. Like, you need that moment of the dad actually respecting him and, like, switching. Whereas, like, we don't really get that here. We kind of just go from dad not really respecting or listening to the child in the beginning to, at the end, after the kid shoots the gun, everyone listens to him. Like, instantly.
I guess what's kind of interesting to me is that in most movies, if the opposite were true and, like, he still isn't kind of listening to him and the kid has to convince the dad, like, yeah, narratively, like, I get that. But in those situations, I'm usually like, you are literally seeing all this stuff happening and your child has been right up until now. Listen to him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying you need more of the dad going, like, I don't listen to your dad. Like, what I'm saying is, you just expand on the fact that, like, because when they're in the shed is when the dad listens to the kid, and when he understands him and is like, okay, you've actually been right this entire time. But we don't actually get that scene of, actually, you've been right this entire time, child. I was completely wrong. I shouldn't have been, like, so dismissive of you this entire time. I should have been listening to you. I'm sorry. We don't get that scene, and that's why I'm saying, like, I would have liked that scene. Like, I'm not saying we need more of the dad being like, no, these are just evil men outside, that's not Santa Claus, you're wrong. Like, I'm not saying the dad is like that, because I don't want him to be like that, because that moment is where you need him to, like, the minute he enters it is when he changes, and you need to show that. Like, you could have the other two dads, because they haven't interacted with the child at all, and they haven't been hearing the Santa stuff the entire time. You have those two go, no, this isn't Santa, what do you want about, kid? Like, this is, like, these are some old men, and, like, this is some Yeti or something they found. Like, shut up, kid, you don't know what you're talking about. And, like, as they're saying that, that's when you have the dad click and go, no, actually, you shut up. My kid knows what he's talking about. I've been so stupid. Like, we need to listen to him now.
I
like,
guess
if
for
you
me,
had
I just don't need that,
it would have felt... Well, the problem is, like, that's what... Like, that leads into your climax as a narrative. And without it, you don't have... Like, your narrative is kind of just skipping beats.
I guess, but there's the whole situation where he's talking... Like, he's setting up the whole plan and everything, and the dad is, like, kind of scared that his son is going to be on the net, and he's like, no, I'll be okay, and then they take off, sort of thing, and the dad is, like, dumbfounded and not really sure what's happening anymore, so he's petrified, right? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. You the only dialogue we get between the kid and the dad during that entire scene is the kid setting everything up, all confident, and the dad's like, I'm not so sure what's going on here. Like, are you sure about this? And the kid goes, shut up. Like, he literally just tells him it's like a comedic scene, whereas, like, narratively, you need the dad to be like either... You need the dad to be on the kid's side at that point, because otherwise the relationship between the dad and the kid, the resolution for it doesn't entirely work.
Well, he doesn't tell his dad shut up, though. He tells the other dad.
Sorry, he tells the other dad. He doesn't have any dialogue between his dad and that shed then.
He does, because his dad is basically asked him to, like, stay safe or whatever, like, or, like, what's happening, because he's climbing on the net and flying away with the children.
Yeah, okay, yeah, he does, actually. But...
It's okay.
That's the thing.
I get it.
Again, that's a scene that's good, because it shows that the dad has, like, that's the post of the scene that I'm asking for. That's like, okay, dad is listening to the child now, but we don't have the moment where the dad changes. It's just, now the dad is magically, like, listening to the child now. We need to see the dad change. Like, show us.
That point was supposed to be when he
it.
shot the gun, because everyone finally turns around and listens to him. But no, it's not worth the argument. It's fine. I guess,
but it's really clunky if it is meant to be it, because it's like it doesn't prove that they're like it doesn't prove that they respect and listen to him now. It's more just like, okay, they're shit scared, and he's really confident now. Like, the roles have just reversed now. Instead of the kid being kind of nervous and all over the place and not really, like, having shit together, and the adults being the ones that are like, okay, we're doing this, we've got guns in our hands, we're gonna shoot, like, we've got a plan. Now the roles are reversed, where the parents are, like, freaking out. They're just thrashing all over the place, trying to stop the doors from breaking open and freeing a child, because they've abandoned all hope of, like, what to do, because things have gone to shit. And now the kid's the confident one. Like, you just have the roles reversed in that point. You don't have, like... The kid shooting the gun doesn't show that they respect him now. They're just like, he's got the gun, he's shot. Like, why would you shoot the gun? What is going on? And then he's like, I've got this plan. And they're like, okay, whatever. Like, fucking, we'll just do it. Are you sure it's gonna work? Whatever, okay.
Alright, well, I mean, sure. I don't have anything to add at this point, so... So, I guess for me, this is, like, probably, like, 8 or 9 out of 10 for me. Like, I probably wouldn't want to watch it every Christmas, because that's just not something I like doing anyway. But I think this is up there in a movie I enjoyed so much that I would love to watch it again sometime. So that's kind of enough for me, I guess.
I feel like if I put it on a number scale, if it had that extra 20 minutes with, like, they actually fleshed out that climax in Act 3, I would probably say the same, like an 8 or a 9, and I'd want to watch it. Like, maybe not every Christmas, but, like, try and show it to people around Christmas. Be like, hey, instead of watching the same Christmas movies, how about we watch this instead? Like, this is interesting. But because it it feels... It kind of left me with, like, an unfinished film feel with how kind of rushed it felt in the third act. It's, like, probably a 6 or a 7. Like, again, I would only really recommend it to someone if they're like, what's a good or decent Christmas-themed horror movie? Or, like, what's a different type of horror movie? I'm sick of watching Elf for the 27th time. Like, give me something completely out of left field. Like, hey, watch this. It's not bad. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have a date for the next one, but we will be better about announcing this next one because we kind of forgot to do it for this one. Because
I mean, we do technically have a date for the next one, actually.
Do we?
Yeah, remember we did a calendar and everything?
Oh yeah, what was it then? Remind me?
Well, I was hoping it would take longer for you to talk.
Okay, well...
Okay, so we've got it, and oh shit, I forgot, I'm in a completely different time zone. For me, it's the... Okay, so it's the 21st for Americans.
Yes, it is the 21st for us.
21st of January. Mark it on your calendars.
If I am moving in the future, which I'm hoping to be, I'll let you guys know and we'll update you on that, though. Because that's probably going to mess with some shit. So.
Mess with shit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Merry Christmas, y'all. And
happy
holidays.
I hope you had a Merry Christmas.
I hope you had a lovely holiday of whatever culture
denomination
and denomination you celebrate.
Don't forget to pick up your hot cross buns on January 1st.
Bye!
Bye-bye.